It's recording now. Okay,
Okay.
so I would like to know about you, your background.
All righty. I have a little book here that covers my early life pretty well. My daughter wrote it.
And how many kids do you have?
3. A daughter in Sacramento, a son in Connecticut, and a daughter in North Carolina.
And do you have anything that you want to say about that other than that?
No, I think not.
Okay.
They're all doing pretty well. I was born in Middlesboro, Kentucky, which is in the southeast corner of Kentucky, near the Cumberland Gap National Park, and went to high school in Middlesboro. Was fortunate to have some very good high school teachers. I went over the hill to Cumberland, to Harrogate, Tennessee, which is about 6 miles from my home, to a little school called Lincoln Memorial University for 2 years, and took their pre-engineering course, which covered most of the non-engineering requirements of the University of Tennessee. They crammed all the physics and chemistry and math into us they could in 2 years, and enough English and history to satisfy the first 2 years requirements. At the end of 2 years, I transferred to Georgia Tech, and as a result of excellent schooling I got in high school and LMU, I was able to get most of my credits accepted at Tech, which is kind of unusual. They're a little particular about who they take credits from. I went to Tech on the cooperative program, where I worked 3 months, went to school 3 months, and I was on the summer school schedule. I went to school in the summertime and worked in the fall and spring, summer and winter in school. I took an electrical engineering course, and got jobs with first the Georgia Power Company, operating steam power plant, 60 megawatt steam plant Atkinson, where as a part-time employee, I got rotated around the plant. I operated most every position in the plant, plus served as a secretary to the plant manager. I learned to calculate the heat output from the coal. I learned to measure the electrical output of the plant. It was a coal-fired plant, except occasionally when the gas company had extra gas, and they sent over gas, and we burned gas instead of coal, which was great because I didn't have to mess with the black coal. Which one of my jobs was measuring the fineness of the pulverized coal. It was supposed to go through a 200 mesh screen, and in the process of getting the samples and getting it measured, I usually got it all over me. I My next job was at the steel mill in Ashland, Kentucky. I worked in the engineering department of the steel mill. I helped the electrical engineer. I helped the civil engineer do survey work, and got some good experience which helped me when I went back to school. I learned more of a practical value while I was working than I did while I was going to school, I think. What did I leave out? Oh, my first job was with Western Union. Western Union, Atlanta is a big transfer office. All the telegraphs from the south, Miami and Florida, to the north go through Atlanta. And at that time they were being typed out on one side of the room. The typist would hold the flimsy over his shoulder, and a little girl would come by on roller skates and pick it up, take it across the room where it would be resent, either north or south. And what we were doing was putting in a switching system which did all this automatically. The sad part was we took the little girls out of a job, but I guess that didn't hurt them much. There I learned how to solder and how to tie up wires and make connections, and to some extent how the teletype systems work.
Do you need to stop and get a drink or anything?
No, I just need to think.
Just let me know if you need to stop.
I'm not really prepared for this. When I graduated from Tech, I went to work for General Electric in Bridgeport, Connecticut, in their Pioneer Products division. Before the war, that was their housekeeping equipment, toasters and the like, and electric blankets. Well, when the war started, GE converted mostly to a war footing and pretty much shut down their domestic production. So one of my first jobs was to dismantle the boss's electric blanket, which he got one of the first ones and had been using it for about 5 years. And I was supposed to take it apart and tell him what was wrong with it. I took it apart and I couldn't find anything wrong with it. It held up very well for the 5 years he had used it. Next we were designing and fabricating heated equipment for the Air Force. The Air Force was flying at 30,000 feet by then, and at 30,000 feet it was very cold, and the planes in those days weren't tight. They weren't airtight. They had no air conditioning.
Why didn't you answer the phone?
I thought you would.